Martin Luther is a heretic. He is a confused man who wrongfully posted his 95 Theses on the front doors of the Catholic Church. This shows that Martin Luther has no respect for the authority of the Church at all. He had no right to do this. It is not his place to decide what the Church can and cannot do. It was scandalous of him to rewrite the Bible when the Pope was completely capable of doing so. But it was not his place to say that the Church was in the wrong for their teachings. He was considered a heretic for a reason. He went against the Church, so it was obvious that he shouldn't be a part of the Church if he doesn't agree or respect what they're teaching.
On October 31st, 1517, Martin Luther posted a document on the front doors of the Roman Catholic Church. This document stated 95 things that Luther thought was wrong with the Church. Martin Luther had good intentions with this act. He believed that the Catholic Pope was becoming too secular and too invested in money. He states that the Roman Catholic Church is having people be brainwashed into how they want the people to interpret the Bible. As a result, Luther was excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church by Pope Leo. The Pope considered him an outlaw and a heretic, but the Church also did some wrongs. They communicated to the people how they freely interpreted the Bible. They sold the people indulgences and were becoming too worldly. Luther believes that the Bible said nothing about indulgences, but still the Church had people pay them to abolish their sins. Because of this, Martin Luther should be released from all charges on this matter.
Why do you believe that Martin Luther committed heresy against the Roman Catholic Church?
Martin Luther wrote and published the 95 Theses condemning the Catholic Church.
More specifically, how did he condemn the Church?
He spoke harshly about selling indulgences. He wrote the Bible in vernacular, therefore making it available to all. People have turned away from the Church because of his actions.
Did Martin Luther have any right to question the Church?
Martin Luther was out of his place to question and revolt against the Church. He is a professor and a priest. He was not in a position to speak out.
Was it right for Martin Luther to post his beliefs?
No, the Church, and by extensions the Pope, were placed in a position by God and given the right to speak the word of the Lord.
Do you think Martin Luther will continue to state his beliefs and ignore the Church's?
Luther is ignoring what the Pope is preaching and, more importantly, God. He will continue to ignore the teachings of the Church and give his perspective and unwanted opinions, ignoring God's.
How do you think Luther should be punished?
Luther should be at least excommunicated from the Church. If he can't follow what we're preaching here, then he shouldn't be allowed to come. It is a privilege to attend church and be taught by someone close to God. If he can't respect it, then he shouldn't be allowed to practice here.
Are you aware of the charges against you?
Yes, the Church believes that I have committed heresy by posting and spreading the 95 Theses and preaching my beliefs.
Why did you post the 95 Theses?
The 95 Theses is simply a list of things I think are corrupt in the Church. I was expressing my beliefs in a peaceful way directly to the Church so that hopefully they would do something about it in good faith.
What happened after you posted the 95 Theses?
My beliefs were spread by the way of the printing press. I began to preach them to anyone interested. I believe that the Church and the Pope are becoming too worldly in their beliefs and practices.
What is your reason for not supporting indulgences?
The Bible states that you were saved through faith and nothing but faith. Martin Luther wrote the Bible in vernacular so all the people could read it for themselves. So the Pope won't be able to twist the words of the Bible into what they want the people to hear.
Why do you think the Pope would twist the words of the Bible?
I think they would do this for money and contentious belief in them. Some might have not noticed, but the Pope and the Church's intentions are becoming too secular.
Can you give any other examples how the Church is becoming too secular?
The Church has been drifting to secularism slowly for a long time. They have been selling things that should be freely given. They have had some rendezvous with women when it is completely against their faith. They have even manipulated the people into believing what they want.
What is your reasoning for criticizing the Church?
I criticize the Church because they are using people and their power to their advantage. They are selling indulgences and using money for themselves, but they should be using them for the bettering of the Church.
Why do you support Martin Luther?
I support Martin Luther because he is the first to be brave enough to stand against the Church. The Church needs to make some changes, and Luther is going to get them made.
What is your opinion on indulgences?
Indulgences should not be sold. That is not the way to rid yourself of sins and is a manipulation of the Church.
Did you intend on people following your beliefs and breaking away from the Church?
I just wanted to help reform the Church and make improvements on the things they're currently doing. I did not go into this with the intention of creating a new denomination.
Why did you flee the Church?
Because when the Church started to become secular, I wanted no part of it. I felt like God wanted me to do it.
Did you take part in the selling of indulgences before Martin Luther shared his beliefs with you?
No, I did know it.
Why did you leave the Catholic Church if you didn't know that what Martin Luther was saying was true?
I knew what was going on around me. I saw the indulgences being sold, and after I read the Bible, I knew what Martin Luther was saying was true.
Why are you selling indulgences if it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you can buy your forgiveness?
The church is responsible for spreading Christianity and for interpreting the Bible for the people. We do not abide by what others deem proper or their personal interpretation.
Why do you think the church is going to extreme measures to get rid of Martin Luther?
The church doesn't need people going against their teachings. It was wrong of him to do that.
Martin Luther is a man with no respect. He went against the church on his own beliefs and influenced others to do the same. He had no right to do this. It's not his choice what the church says or does. If the church thinks that they are doing what's best for the people, then they should continue to do it. They shouldn't have to stop what they're doing because one person says that they don't agree. If he doesn't agree, then he shouldn't be a part of the church.
Martin Luther was doing what he thought was best for the interest of the people and the church. He should not be punished for trying to improve their ways. He saw that the Pope was selling indulgences and wanted to stop it, and wanted to change the policy. There is no reason for him to be punished for it. If anyone should be punished, it should be the church for lying to the people when they didn't know any better.
Martin Luther will hereby be excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church.